Hey guys, what's going on? It's T-Carp for the Scott Carpenter YouTube channel and the Sasquatch Awareness Project. If you're one of those skeptics that doesn't believe in Bigfoot or thinks that, hey, is there anything hard that we can grasp onto to prove that Bigfoot exists? Have I got something for you. This is the Truth to Deny. This is my dad's book about the Sasquatch DNA Study. Scott Carpenter, my dad, who's passed away, Scott Carpenter takes you behind the scenes of the groundbreaking Sasquatch Genome Study. Scott was a sample contributor and worked closely with the study team. You will get his unique perspective as you learn how the Sasquatch Genome Study came into existence, progressed, made profound discoveries, and then was attacked from both within the Bigfoot community and the mainstream science. The reason? The truth was not palatable for either group and sent shockwaves throughout the research community. Scott details how these groups formed a loosely linked conspiracy of the like-minded and how this eventually coalesced into a well-organized smear campaign, the main target being the project leader Dr. Melba Ketchum and the DNA study's results. The goal, to destroy Dr. Ketchum both personally and professionally, along with discrediting the Sasquatch Genome Study. Ultimately, to hide from the public scientific proof that the creature known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot exists and to conceal its shocking genetic identity, to deny the truth. And guys, with that, we're going to go ahead and get started into it. Introduction. The Sasquatch Genome Project was a collaborative effort consisting of diverse groups of people from the United States and Canada. All walks of life were represented in this group, to include physicians, professionals, law enforcement officers, wealthy benefactors, PhDs in their area of expertise, mothers, husbands, and children. For a 5-year period, these individuals, along with the research groups they represented, put personal ambitions aside and worked towards a common goal to prove scientifically that the creature known as Sasquatch existed. One would think such an endeavor would be heralded by the Bigfoot community at large. Disappointingly, it was not. The monumental effort put forth was placed under attack almost immediately once word circulated that such a study was underway. Egos, agendas, reputations, livelihoods, and sacred cows were endangered by the Sasquatch Genome Project. These forces aligned in an effort to derail the study at all costs. To make matters worse, once the scientific community learned of this effort, they also joined in with the Bigfoot establishment. The rumors, disinformation, personal attacks, lies, and unfounded rumors perpetuated by these groups were unprecedented. Despite the whole Bigfoot world being against the DNA Project team, Dr. Ketchum, along with the team, persevered. With solid scientific data in hand, the Sasquatch Genome Project was submitted to the journal Nature for review. In a meeting with Dr. Ketchum, David Pilates, and George Knapp, before the findings were submitted for peer review, Dr. Colm Keller predicted the following, quote, "No mainstream science journal in the world would ever publish a paper or allow for an honest peer review of any paper that mentioned Bigfoot or Sasquatch by name if the study was submitted for peer review," end quote. This prediction, unfortunately, came true. After submission and resubmission with corrections, the journal Nature declined to publish. Other journals refused to accept the study, rejecting it because the subject matter only. Despite these setbacks, Dr. Ketchum pressed on, finding a journal willing to give the paper a fair, impartial review. The referees gave the paper, gave the paper passing reviews, prompting the quote-unquote Journal of Advanced Multiple Disciplinary Exploration in Zoology, or JAMEZ. So it's the Journal of Advanced Multidisciplinary Exploration in Zoology. So that's JAMEZ, J-A-M-E-Z, to agree to publish the paper. A bizarre sequence of events caused the publisher of the journal to withdraw the paper less than 12 hours before publishing. So traumatic was these circumstances, the publisher agreed to sell ownership of JMS to Dr. Ketchum in order to preserve the passing reviews. Dr. Ketchum changed the name of the journal and published the Sasquatch Genome Study using the reviews from the original journal JMS. The study was lampooned, ignored, along with being criticized by self-proclaimed quote-unquote experts that admitted to not reading the study. The study's detractors have made unsubstantiated claims based on personal biases, providing no fact-based critiques. Over time, no legitimate scientific critiques of the study have been presented by the critics of the study. The study findings have been confirmed by 3 separate groups, all associated with major universities. Frustratingly, each group refused to allow their findings to be made public due to the political pressure, including threats to their professional careers. This book takes you behind the scenes into the inner workings of this history-making saga. You will see how events unfolded along with the setbacks and triumphs of the team. The reader will learn firsthand how the truth of the Sasquatch Genome Project was denied by mainstream science and a majority of the Bigfoot research community. Confidentiality. The reader should be aware that I had access to private communications between the principals of the Sasquatch Genome Study as a submitter. Though I am no longer bound by an NDA or other restrictions, I gave my word to Dr. Ketchum to keep the sources of certain information confidential. In order to keep my word to Dr. Ketchum, I paraphrase, redact, and sanitize, along with using short, limited quotes when citing information of a sensitive nature. Disclaimer: the reader should be aware that Dr. Ketchum did not favor the publishing of this book. She preferred to, quote, let sleeping dogs lie, end quote. Definitions. The official name of this study is the Novel North American Hominins Next Generation Sequencing of 3 Whole Genomes and Associated Studies. So you guys can look that up. In this book, I will abbreviate this name, calling the study of the following Sasquatch Genome Project or Sasquatch Genome Study. Exhibits. The reader will notice an extensive exhibits section. The source material and documentation for this book depended heavily on website and blog posts. Unfortunately, over time, many of the articles, blogs, and interviews have been removed. In some cases, the blog or websites no longer exist. I had the forethought to save the postings along with hyperlinks as time went along. In the exhibit section, I include the entire article with proper credits and links to the website or blog. In the event the material has been removed or the website no longer exists, this allows the reader to easily see the complete source material in context. And with that, that is the introduction and to the Truth Denied, the Sasquatch DNA study. This is going to be awesome. This is going to turn some heads and going to get people mad. I expect this series to get a lot of comments, and I can't wait for it. Dad got a lot of flack for this, but if you want the truth on what Bigfoot is scientifically, this book dives deep into that, and we are going to dive deep together. Guys, I really appreciate you liking, subscribing, all that stuff. Tell your friends that we're going to be reading this book. We're going to be reading it chapter by chapter. If you want to pick these books up, I think you still can on Amazon, but I'm going to get this information out to you for free on YouTube, so that way you can have a chapter by chapter basis and all that. So guys, again, love you. I appreciate you. God bless, and we'll get into it. Y'all be good.